So I saw Amsterdam, and let's talk about a few things. Okay, so David O. Russell directed this movie, and he should just not be working in Hollywood anymore. I mean, per his own words, which he has admitted. Now, per YouTube's monetization rules, there is a chance that if I talk about the things that David O. Russell has done and been accused of and admitted on his own, there is a chance that I get demonetized. And honestly, there are better people to learn from that than myself. There are a number of great articles that I've read about it, so I encourage those who want to know more to research those articles, because it is more than just being a bully on set. Now, I do like to think that critics have the integrity and the ability to say, hey, this director is a bad person because of this, this, and this, but also while acknowledging that they do like his movie. And I was very curious to wonder where I fall in between this movie, because even though David O. Russell is just a bad person, I was like, okay, you know, my standard rule, when the lights go down, blank slate, right? Blank slate, I judge the movie on its own. I liked Silver Linings Playbook. I hated American Hustle. And I think The Fighter is fine in terms of his, like, you know, top 3 movies, you know, in terms of most recognition. So I was like, I really don't know where I would fall in between this. And I was wondering to myself, like, man, what if I really like this movie? You know, maybe if it's closer to a Silver Linings Playbook, which I do like. What if I like this movie? Will that be a moral question for me? Luckily, that doesn't matter, because this shit is ass. Amsterdam is not good. And I promise from the bottom of my heart, I am not just saying that because he is a bad person. If David O. Russell was some saint that donated to children's hospitals and rescued puppies on his days off, I would still say that Amsterdam is not good. I said this in my Letterboxd review, but this movie is really equivalent to sleepwalking for 2 hours, because my god, it's boring. It started off with some promise, you know, it's kind of introducing the audience to what kind of tone we can expect, and it's setting up the whole murder mystery, you know, partly a true story. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of on board, but it can go either way right now. And then by the end, I was like, dear God, I want to leave. Why narration? Please stop. The story is just not compelling. I've seen a lot of people say that the story is very convoluted and messy, which it totally is. But above that, it's just boring. Like, and I don't like to use that word, but oh my God, like, can you give me something? Like in the beginning, it was almost like a Marvel movie with the way that famous people just keep popping in the movie. It was like, oh my God, this is like a whole bunch of cameos right now. What's going on? But it never goes beyond that. And the pacing of this movie is just not up to par with what it should be. With the tone that the movie is going for, the pacing has to be kept at a certain level. And bruh, this thing is just so inconsistent. And because of that, it starts to drag in areas. And I was like, oh my gosh, bruh. And with the performances, I don't even know if any of them are like egregiously bad to me, but they're all just like a shoulder shrug. Even people like Christian Bale and Margot Robbie, just amazing actors, they're just kind of like, like they're acting, you know what I mean? Like it's okay. And is anyone going to ask the cast why they chose to come on this project or no? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually liked Chris Rock in the movie. And it's mainly because he is playing Chris Rock, but like he brought energy to the movie when it really needed to be by just being himself. And when he came on board, particularly in the beginning of the movie, that's when I was the most in on the movie. I was like, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. And if this is the tone and vibe that they're going for, I think I can vibe with this movie. But it just stops there. And listen, there are some things that, you know, I do have to give credit for. Like, I do like the costumes of the movie. Production design is all right. I thought the score was decent at times. And there are some particular scenes where, you know, because of the rapid fire back and forth dialogue, which I'll admit I can be a sucker for, sometimes it worked. Other times it really didn't, my God. But some of those scenes did work for me. And honestly, if I'm being real to myself, I do think general audiences will probably come to like this movie. I do think that, you know, if you're watching this video, you probably know the David O. Russell controversy. I guarantee you none of my friends do. So that's kind of where it's at right now. I have no idea how this movie's going to perform. I mean, this movie was just so not it for me. The story was so dull. And honestly, I'm not even 100% sure that I watched this movie, even though I just watched this movie. Amsterdam, 1.5 stars. Once again, I promise, if I liked this movie, I would say I liked it. But I mean, my God, what a mess. What do I even do now?